Alright, hello PBO people. Today I'm going to be explaining how to play the PBO ROM hack. So, I've been working on this for a little while. Obviously it took a while to get out. But essentially, you're going to start out a new game, you're going to spawn in here. Soren is going to obviously be in the game, come up and approach you, talk to you, blah blah blah. You're gonna want to actually read this, you know, instead of me just skipping it. I'm just skipping it because I've already done this like a trillion times. I guess we already have the in-game music too. Let me pause this. But it's gonna ask you if you want to play in the Unova or Callus division, but obviously this yes or no answer doesn't matter because there's only Unova implemented right now. Blah blah blah, and then it's gonna ask you if you want to use all the Pokemon that are available in the draft or the free Pokemon that were not used in this PBO draft, which is Season 5 of the Unova Conference. So let me explain that. With this download will also come a copy of this, which is the PBO Unova Season 5 draft. So in here it has a draft board. This is for Season 5, so it's not updated to, I believe we're on Season 6 now. But it'll show you all the Pokemon, what they're worth. So essentially, if you clicked yes, where you get all the Pokemon, then it wouldn't matter, obviously the ones that are taken out. But if you click no, then you obviously only have these to choose from. And whenever you get into the game, you're choosing your own draft, you're going to want to use this document, obviously, to draft to make sure that you have, you know, you're using the total amount of points. So I believe, I don't remember what the actual point total is, but it is down here in the bottom right. So whenever you're playing the game and you're like actually drafting based on what Pokemon are available or however you want to do it in here, you can type them in here. So for example, I was just doing it earlier, you can put like Manaphy, Salamence, blah blah blah, and you know it will automatically do the point total until you eventually run out and have 0. So that's ultimately what you'll use to draft in the game. So the game is not going to do it for you. Obviously, it's not that developed yet. Also, it will take a while for it to give you all the Pokemon. Just use speed up. I know it might seem worrying that it might freeze your game, but it's totally fine. I've done it like a million times. But yeah, now that we have all the Pokemon in our party, I'll just show you. This is actually the PC. I'm not going to explain why this is the PC, but it is the PC. And you can see we have all the Pokemon here. I believe I clicked no. So this is showing me all the Pokemon that no one drafted in the Season 5 thing. But essentially you would do your own draft on the document, and then ultimately you would pull out whatever Pokemon that you're actually using, and then maybe put them in like box 14, box 13, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Next thing is, there is a PBO... PBO ROM hack NPC guide. So this is essentially all the characters that are in the main hub room, which is this room. It's obviously just, you know, zoomed in because we're playing the characters. So we have a layout of NPCs here, and then a layout of NPCs here, and then we have Soren again, as well as the team roster board, which will show you the enemy team. So let's just go through some of this. If I pull out this document, you can see I basically have a screenshot of all the characters, and it shows you from top to bottom what they do and what they give you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, going all the way down to 10. You can see there's Hyper Trainer, so they give you max IVs depending on the Pokemon that you select in your party. There is only going to be max IV'd out Pokemon. You cannot have like 0 IVs in speed. So it is unfortunate for Trick Room sets and all that, like, you know, Foul Play and whatever BS. But ultimately it doesn't matter, at least for this version. Berry Seller. TM Giver is also really annoying because it gives you all the TM, but you have to mash A. But TMs are reusable. Competitive Item Seller, those are like your, you know, like Flame Ward, Choice Scarf, whatever, blah blah blah. Also, Booster Energy is not functioning in the game, so please ignore that. I believe everything else is. Plate Seller is just like those useless, not useless, but they're like the items that just give you a type boost. Ability and Mint Seller. Mints obviously help you change your nature in this game. That's the best way of doing it. And then abilities, if you want your hidden ability, use the ability patch or whatever. But if you have the hidden ability and want to go backwards, you have to undo the hidden ability to get the normal one. Blah blah Hard scale, EV and IV trainer. Obviously, EV and IV training very important to show, because you're obviously going to EV your guys whenever you do a battle. And obviously the healer, and then the PC. This guy also has heart scales, which is really important because I have the move relearner in the top right. So you're definitely going to want to immediately buy some heart scales. I guess I already did this backwards, but the first thing that you should do is always talk to Soren whenever you get in here, especially since this is a new room. Definitely talk to him before and after every battle that you do. So we got heart skills, but this guy also does EV stuff, so you can actually EV your guys. I believe the feathers do it by 1 tick at a time. It might be 4. I could be completely wrong, but we also have berries to reduce EVs too. Then on this side of the room, again, I'm going to be pulling up this, or I think it goes left or right. So we have Soren. As I said before, you're going to want to talk to him before and after every battle. So because we just entered this room, we should obviously talk to him. But then after we talk to him for the first time, we can see we have weeks 1 through 8 here, which I actually did add 8 opponents, not 4, like I talked about before. So your week 1 opponent is Don Colbus, coach of the Charleston Chestnuts, etc. And it will show you images with what their team should be, which I believe this does match up with the document. So if you want to just use this document too, I believe this is accurate. I'm almost certain. But this is obviously just cooler to do. You can write these down or just double check that they match with the document. So we can see what team they have, and then we would obviously prepare our own team and then go up here, fight him. I believe if you lose, you can rematch him. But if you also, like, it doesn't really matter whether you win or lose. If you lose, you would just go on to the next one and keep track of your own record. But ultimately, you can go in here. Each rival or each opponent can have up to 3 teams. So that adds a little bit of replayability and variability within the game. And then, of course, after you fight, even if you win or lose, talk to Soren afterwards, and you will also see that your opponent will appear after the battle. So that is that. I guess I'll go through this last bit of NPCs on the right side. So we have basically a whole bunch of move tutors. We have move deleter because I still have HMs in the game, which means sometimes HMs need to be deleted. 14, which is this character here, has move relearner and egg moves. So egg moves I could not figure out, so I had to manually input them into every Pokemon's move learn set, which obviously there's going to be some errors. So if you do see errors, make sure to report them into the general chat. Other than that, it's just going to have a whole bunch of move tutors, and essentially if you are trying to build your team, I believe the best way to do it, I think the best way of doing it, is you build it in Showdown first. Do whatever EVs, do whatever thing you want. I think this will be the best way, because if you just do it in game, it's going to be a little bit overwhelming. So it's just good to, you know, figure out what roster you want to do. Then once you figure out what your opponent is, then go into Showdown, build a team. Then, you know, all the moves that are in Showdown should be in the game. Then you EV them, whatever, give them items, and then you manually will have to give them the moves. But you can just, for example, we want Manaphy to have Psychic, so we just look for Psychic by typing in Psychic. It says it's Move Tutor 7. We scroll up. Move Tutor 7 is 21, so you can either go... This probably needs number here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's this one. So then I would just go in game and talk to him, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this guy should have Psychic. Yep, and he does. Everything costs for free, so I could just teach the Manaphy Psychic. Yeah, as I said before, you're obviously going to want to use this hyper training guy. But with that being said, I believe that should be it in terms of playing the game. Obviously, the final note is, you know, you should be following PBO rules as the normal rule set would go. So obviously, don't like use double team or like stat pass with like baton pass or whatever. Obviously, that's just going to make the game not fun anyway, because the AI is not that smart like a human person. But I think it will add more variability to the game, or it will add more challenge to the game if you obviously don't violate the PBO rules, like having fissure and all sorts of like broken moves like that. Obviously, there's also illegal moves at the time of making this too. so don't use those as well. Another thing that I forgot to mention is whenever you do fight one of these characters, you will also see that whenever you talk to them, they'll do a little introduction, and then they will say the 6 Pokemon that they ended up bringing before the fight starts, so you might want to write that down. I don't know if I'm going to keep that in the future. I just don't know if it's going to be challenging enough or not, but we'll see. But yeah, with that being said, I believe that's it, and I hope you guys have fun with it. Obviously, please report bugs. I will try to get to them as fast as I can. But yeah, with that being said, thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you on next one. Peace.